Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be going through the brand new LEGO Marvel Disney Plus minifigure series that was just officially revealed on the LEGO Shop website. It's going to be releasing in September of 2021 and retailing for $4.99 USD and CAD as well, and there are 12 figures included in this series. And first off, let's show off the packaging right here, which I think looks really great. I do love how it's able to kind of replicate that sort of Disney Plus style with the blue coloring there on the packaging, and then also the selection of figures look great as well. So definitely some really fantastic details there in that image. And then if we move forward here into the actual figures, there are definitely some absolutely spectacular ones here. And we're going to go through them. I'm going to try to go through it kind of like how the series were released basically. So the first one we'll go through is Scarlet Witch right here, of course, from Wandavision. And I think that she is just an amazing looking figure. I love this one so much. I think that the torso printing is amazing. The leg printing as well definitely has some great continuity with the torso there as well. I love the arms also. I think those look fantastic. The face is pretty good as well. I think the printing on there is decent. Of course, once again, the expressions don't really super match like Wanda, I feel like, but I think that it still works all right. And then the power blast pieces are really good as well, and I do like the hairpiece. I think that it's definitely quite an interesting way to go about doing it, but I think it does work quite well. So overall, I think that figure is just definitely a really great one. Now we have another one from Wandavision here, and of course it is White Vision, and this figure, I think they really did nail the printing quite well. Now of course some of the coloring is a little bit off, especially on the forehead there. That's supposed to be blue, but here it's kind of more of a yellowish orange, so definitely an interesting choice there. But of course I'm aware that LEGO has to go off of concept art for these designs, so it may have been that color scheme at that point, but I definitely do like the look of this figure quite a bit. I think the arm printing is super well done. Also, there is just so much great details here packed into this figure that I appreciate so much. So definitely very glad about this one. I do like it quite a bit, and he even comes with a cool accessory piece as well, which is pretty nice, or accessory build, I suppose. So that's quite cool as well. So I definitely do like that one quite a bit. Okay, now the next figure that we have here from WandaVision, and the last one is Maria Rambeau right here, and she looks fantastic. I do like her figure quite a bit. Now, she is one of the more, of course, basic ones within the actual series, but her character, of course, had a really big involvement within the WandaVision series, so I am glad to be getting her in minifigure form, and she even comes with the little red helicopter build as well, which is really cool, so I do appreciate that, and I love her hairpiece. I think that looks so good, and her torso printing as well is really cool. I love how it's got like the sword logo on it as well, so that's really great. So definitely a really good figure. I do like that one, and I think it's kind of an underrated one within the series. Alright, now we have our first figure from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, and this one here is of course Sam Wilson as the brand new Captain America, and this figure has got to be one of my absolute faves from this series. I think that the printing has got to be some of the best that we've ever seen on a LEGO Marvel minifigure. I love how on the legs it continues across the side there. You can sort of make it out in the photo, and I think that is such a nice detail there. I definitely love the sidearm printing as well. The torso and the legs just look so good together, and I actually really like the wings build as well. I think that came out looking really great, so I do like that quite a bit. And then even the brand new hairpiece as well, it's definitely a really interesting and cool sort of look there, so I do like that, and I always welcome getting new pieces, so that's really great as well. And then the shield piece right there is definitely a really great one as well. I love the printing on that, and the face as well looks really fantastic, so it's just altogether a really great looking build. You even get sort of like a red wing as well, which is super cool. I love the printing on that piece there. I think that looks fantastic. So many great details here. It definitely just makes for an absolutely spectacular looking figure. Now, of course, we have Bucky Barnes right here, who, of course, is Sam's partner in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even though they don't really like to acknowledge it, but they definitely are working together, of course, and I think that Bucky looks fantastic as well. I really do love his design so much. I think there's really great printing on him as well. Of course, I don't think it's as detailed as for Sam, but I think that it definitely still works quite well for the character of Bucky, and I like both of the expressions that we get for him as well. I think those look really great, and then the printing on the metal arm as well looks pretty good from what I can see, so definitely some great details there. He also gets a copy of the Captain America shield as well, which is quite cool, and then 2 knives equipped with him as well, so some pretty good accessories there, and I definitely do like that one quite a bit. Now we jump into the Loki series right here, and the first figure that we have is, of course, Loki himself, and he looks really good. Now, I was kind of hoping that we were going to end up getting the President Loki version, but it makes sense after having watched the series. I won't say any sort of spoilers, but it makes sense basically why we didn't wind up getting that version, but I do like this Loki figure here. I definitely love how he's in the TVA uniform, which is a really cool just sort of design there, and I do like the TVA mug as well. I think that's a great accessory, and of course one of the best accessories in the series is Throg right here. I think he looks fantastic. I love that little Thor like torso printing on the frog right there. The mold is pretty good for it as well. It would have been nice to maybe see him wearing like Thor's like helmet, but still I can understand why they might not be able to do that, because they might want to use this mold somewhere else in another Lego series, so I'm still quite satisfied with it, and he's even holding the hammer as well now that I notice that, so that is really cool as well, and I just really like the design of Loki. I'm super glad to be getting him in the series, so I do like that figure as well. Now we have Sylvie right here, who is an absolutely amazing character from the Loki series. I really enjoyed her introduction in that show, and I think that her figure is a really great one as well. I love that we get a new mold there for the hair. I think it looks really great and definitely suits her really well, and then we get a little bit of arm printing, as you can see, so that's quite cool also, so I do like that quite a bit. I think the torso looks pretty good. The legs are completely plain there from what I can see, so a little bit disappointing there, but still I don't think it's necessary as much for her character to have leg printing, so I think it still does work. And then she also comes with Alligator Loki right there, which is a little bit disappointing that we don't have any sort of crown printing on that actual like piece right there, but still I can understand, of course, same sort of thing with Throg, I imagine, where they might want to use it outside of this. I'm not sure if it's the exact same, but definitely you can tell that they would like to use this in other themes for sure, the piece, which makes sense, but I think it still looks alright, and I think it suits the figure and pairs really well with it. Alright, now we jump into the Marvel What If series here, and we start off with Captain Carter right here, who is a really cool figure. This is a different version of her from the one that's included in one of the What If Lego sets, so I do like this variant. I think a little bit more, there's just so much more color going on with the figure, and I absolutely adore that hairpiece right there. I think that looks amazing and suits Peggy Carter so well, and I really do love the shield piece as well. That is some amazing printing. We get a lot of shields in this series, and I think that one is definitely one of the best. And then we can see the Tesseract piece, which is a tiny bit disappointing that it's just 2 kind of like 1x1 tiles right there stacked on top of each other instead of kind of the mold that they use basically in the actual set, so a little bit disappointing there, but I still do like the figure. I think it has some really good printing on her for sure, even on the sides of the legs and the sides of the arms as well, so I love that. I think there's just so many great details there, so I'm definitely really glad with this figure. Now the next one from What If here is Spider-Man, but as Doctor Strange right there, the Supreme Sorcerer, of course, and I think that this one is definitely a really great looking figure. Now it's one of the What If ones where I feel like there's the least amount of changes. Of course, I know there's new printing on Spider-Man, but just as the actual character, like he's just wearing a cape basically, so there isn't too much of a change there, but I still do love the design here. I think the printing is some of the best that we've ever received on a Spider-Man minifigure, so I love that a ton, and I think they just really did nail it. I love that he also comes with a Peter Parker face as well, and a hairpiece as well, if you want to be able to swap that out, so I think that's really great as well, and it definitely turns out to be a really good variant. Now the next one that we have here is TChalla as Star-Lord, and I think that this is definitely a really awesome looking variant. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this one because I just didn't know how much change there was going to be to the design of course, TChalla and then into Star-Lord's costume, but I think they really nailed it, and it's definitely one of my favorite figures from the series. I love the Star-Lord headpiece there. I think that looks great. It might even be a new mold as well. I believe it is, of course, because of the hair on top there, so I love that. They went through a lot of effort there, and even having like the purple glowing eyes as well, so that's great. I think the torso looks really good, the legs as well, and you even get the alternate head and hairpiece as well for TChalla, which is super great to see, so I do love that a ton. I think it definitely looks really amazing, so I'm super satisfied with that figure, and I think it just turned out really great. Now we have Gamora as Thanos right here. Definitely a really cool looking figure. I do like this one quite a bit, and I'm glad that we're getting another version of Gamora here because I feel like we don't get too many minifigures for her character, and I think she did turn out really great. I love the arm printing on her. I think that the actual torso and the legs look really good as well, so I'm quite satisfied with that. The actual blade piece is pretty good as well. It's not an amazing accessory, but still pretty decent, and then of course she just looks great as usual, so I do like that just quite a bit. I think it's a really good looking figure, and I'm really excited to get this one. Now the final figure here from the series, and one of my absolute favorites. I was super excited for this one from the get-go as soon as we knew that it was going to be in the series, but now seeing it here, it is just absolutely amazing, blows me away. It's of course the zombie Captain America. I think he looks so phenomenal. It is such a great looking figure. I really do love all of the printing on this guy. I think it just looks amazing. They honestly just went all out with the printing on him, and I love how part of like his right leg is like frozen. I think that is so cool, and then also just face looks really good. I love the shield as well. I think it's so cool to have a damaged shield now. I think that is amazing. And then just some of the details on the torso look really good. Of course, the arms as well. So there's just a ton going on with this figure. It has just so much great detail, and I think is a bit of an underrated one within the series. So I'm really excited for that, and I think it's just really great. Alright, so that's going to conclude the video here for going over all of the LEGO Marvel Disney Plus minifigures. Be sure to let me know what some of your favorites are down below in the comment section, and if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like. Also subscribe as well if you'd like to check out some of my other content. That would be highly appreciated, and I most likely will be doing a ranking for this series at some point in the future, so be sure to stay tuned for that as well. There's so much to say about this minifigure series, so I definitely have quite a bit to talk about with it, but for now, I hope you did enjoy. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.